Good evening, race fans, and how the bloody hell are you? If you are just joining me, this is Black Flag Rivals. It's the Evo versus the Subaru, and what a better way to celebrate two iconic racing cars than to watch them duking it out in combat around some racetracks. This is round number 4 at Deep Forest Raceway. Just waiting for a few of our lovely faces to join us. Good evening, Paul. If you are just joining us, of course, this is what you're seeing. If you are joining us from the previous race, hello again. You've got some more time with me. Surely you don't want to spend more time with me. We have just finished the F1 with Smoking British. What a race that was at Albert Park in Australia. But so there we go. Stormfly has finally entered. We are right on the cusp of excuse me, having enough people. So wait for everyone to tick in, and then we will start qualifying. While we are waiting for qualification, let's why is it doing that? Hold the line caller while I solve this technical issue. That's what. That's better. Technical issue is solved. Sup. Right. Yeah, let's have a look at where we're at. So basically, this is the premise of the competition. There are two teams. One is Team WRX, the other is Team Lancer, and they go head to head in a number of different competitions. There is the individual tournament, which is just all against all, you know, and that includes team drivers and reserve drivers. So some are team drivers, some are reserve drivers. Reserve drivers will flip between car to car depending on the need, but the majority of people will be team drivers. So there's a team competition where just team points count. There is also a manufacturers competition where whatever car anyone is driving, whether they be a reserve or otherwise, are pitting against each other. So we'll see what ultimately is the best car. This is where we're at so far this season. In the Constructors' Championship, Lancer leads the way. 1 win, 1 podium. That's not right. It can't be right. No, it's not correct.
You done our lunchbox?
I'll do it as soon as I finish this, babes. I'm going to do the dishwasher and all that, so leave it all, yeah? No, I know, but the rest of the stuff needs to go in the dishwasher, doesn't it? Sorry about that. Given orders by the missus. Yeah, so, Constructors' Championship, I will address that, but I think it is still Lancer winning. Team-wise, Team Mitsubishi is leading the way with 447 points. Subaru second with 391. Still all to play for because, I mean, literally this can change in the space of one race, and we've got 2 races this evening. One from qualifying, one reverse grid. Individual championship, it looks like this. Kevin 77, isn't it? It's not really a surprise that Kevin 77 is in the lead of the competition. He leads every single competition we do. There's just no way to slow this guy down. Even if we do a handicap competition, he tunes the car. This is crazy. You again, I'm being stalked. I'm being stalked by a man called Fingers. If this were Victorian times, he would be a fence, and I would be a small boy. Yeah, so Demos is also Team Lancer. He's second in the championship. Then we've got WRX with Sturpan, 89 points. Thanos, basically at the moment, the Mitsubishi drivers are kind of edging it a little bit. So we just need the Scooby drivers to step the fuck up. So qualifying is about to start. We'll jump in and have a little look and see what's occurring in terms of qualifying. And we'll go through this drivers. You know, when you can skip your opinions, mate. You can wait till I give you an opinion and then I'll have that. Thank you very much. Right, results. So, Avalon in the WRX. He is really desperate for some points today. Fubar is a bit of a sensation lately. Has been starting to smash it. Now, he went ages, finishing 4th, 5th, just outside the podium places. And then he got a podium, and now he's getting it for fun all the time. He's properly a top 3 runner. Okay, I'll accept those willingly. There is the current championship leader and the fastest man on 4 wheels. It's getting really boring watching people trying to catch him. It's just something you can do just to kind of, I don't know, only use wet tyres or something. There's Thanos. He is in the Lancer. Demos in the Lancer as well. G-Mac. He'd rather back the one G-Mac. G-Mac is WRX. He's dated WRX. Minus, also in the Scooby-Doo. Wiggy is he's a reserve driver, knocking around the last. To be fair, for a reserve driver, he's been in I think every race so far. So not bad doing 4 races as a reserve driver. And Stormfly, another WRX driver. This is we need to know today. WRX needs to have a big show because they're in real danger of getting dropped by the Lancer drivers. We're here at the first race today, which you will know is daily racing driver B. So basically, there's lots of WRXs driving around there as well, all over the Panos, he is another WRX driver. There's Avalon, there's Fubar, there's Snowman. So then we go 10 runners or 11 runners this evening. So only just right under now. I've expressed my concern on this one about we'll get just enough to make it viable at the moment. But it is ridiculous that we're not getting full numbers. The amount of people, we've got over 100 people on this one. And of those we have got 30 that race at least once a week. So the fact that we are struggling to get lobbies of 60 drivers is a bit concerning. And Kevin just wants to be aware of racing because you do have to be careful with qualifying and not interfering with anyone. So, current quality. Now this is the problem. See, when I come from doing F1, I press the wrong buttons trying to get information because obviously the buttons are different. And then when I go back the other way, it'll be the same problem, but in reverse. Right, so Kevin 77 on pole. That's a 1:24.7 for him. G-Mac closest to him. That's a 25.6 for him in the WRX. Demos 25.6. Also, there is just 14 100% difference. 14 1,000%. 2 tenths back Thanos with a 125.8. And then Panos with a 125.9. Stormfly just 300 slower, 125.95. 2 tenths back for Wiggy in the Repsol Lancer, that's 126.2. Avalon, he's in the Scooby-Doo, and he's only 400 back. So, albeit that because the cars are so similar, and there's only 2 different types of car, and it's so much closer in terms of racing, and expected to stay that way. Minus just half, 500ths, half a tenth back from Thanos more gleefully. And he drops, he actually moves up the order. So Sturpan, 27-2 for them, and they were running high in the championship until not a moment. Avalon, 26-2 is in 10th. But the front row is Demos and Kevin, as it's been pretty much most of the season in terms of results. Bring back up so you can just see. They are the top two at the moment, Kevin and Demos. GMAC, who's currently sitting 10th in the championship, has got himself up onto the second row alongside Panis, who ironically is 9th in the championship. How's that for a turn up for the box? Stormfly 5th at the moment. He is currently getting 6th in the championship. Level on points with Avalon, who is down at the moment in 10th place. So lots of work to do. WRX really do have the work cut out today, because at the moment you've got two Lancers on the front row. The GMAX and WRX as alongside Panos on row 2. But then we do have a bit of a line. So we've got GMAC, we've got Panos, we've got Stormfly, and then we go back to Thanos who's in the Lancer. Then we've got Midas. Midas just crossed the line in that WRX in 7th place. Fumar in the Lancer. Wiggy in the Lancer. Then Avalon, of course, is in WRX alongside Fumar, who's in the Lancer. Snowbound, I think, is WRX. So yeah, it's just trying to keep up who is what. So there we go. Qualifying done and dusted. We know who is where. We'll have one race here, which will be racing soft, racing medium required. They're going to blast around here for a little while, and then when that race is done, we will go again, but reverse grid. Kevin leads the way. Would you have expected anything else? You can pretty much guarantee if there is a race and Kevin is in it, and there are other black flag people in it, that he will be on pole position. In fact, I'm struggling to think of a time that wasn't reverse grid when he wasn't on pole position. To be fair, it's also struggling to find a time when he didn't win a race. It's becoming basically the equivalent of, you know, when that kid from the sixth form goes and plays football with the year sevens, just because he's like 87 foot tall and he's really, really good. But well, he's not. He's really good and he can like score from like 30 yards, and the year sevens can't kick the ball fucking 10 yards. That's basically what it's like. Kind of like my under 13s team many, many years ago, where I had lots of 12-year-olds. I kind of 11-year-olds, some 12-year-olds, and I had a 12-year-old that was built like a 25-year-old man. I basically just operated on the premise that we would just give the ball to him and he would score lots of goals. As it turned out, he only scored 33 that season. I had another player that scored 66, and he wasn't as big or as strong, but he did play for the Lazio youth team, and he was here on an exchange. But there we go. That's another time, another place, and that was a decade ago. But there we go. Right, final is starting. We will wait until it gets itself started. And there we go. So we're spectating on the track as it is. And Lucas just zooming in ready for the race start. So we're waiting for 5 lights. They will go out. We will then jump out and jump back, ready for the start of this race. There we go. So they are out. We jump out. We jump back in. And we are away. And everyone seems to be away pretty darn cleanly so far. Kevin in the lead, Demos alongside him, as we would expect, 1 and 2. GMAC is going to make a move early doors up into turn 1. He doesn't. He's tucked in nicely behind Demos though, just getting a little bit of that slipstream. And it's looking like Panos has held out in 4th. Stormfly running in 5th place. Anyone stricken? No one stricken. Everyone through cleanly. Tricky track this, to be fair, and it can be quite punishing. It's we'll do it online. Let's do a full lap. When Kevin crosses the line, we'll do a full lap on board with him. But there we go. Kevin is already 8 tenths clear of Demos. Half a second back to GMAC. Then we've got 3 tenths to Panos. 7 tenths back to Stormfly. Then half a second to Thanos and Midas. Fuba. They're all very, very close to each other. Sturpan putting some pressure on Avalon there at the back with that slipstream. Avalon just pulling out. He doesn't. Look at that. Weaving and bobbing and weaving and weaving. Not letting him through in any way. Do you remember you are both Team W1? It's a freaking team event. Nods. Yeah. Look, there is an individual element to it, but it's supposed to be a team event. And I think if your teammate is faster, let them through. And then you just tuck in their slipstream. But, you know, it is what it is. Right, so I'm board with Kevin. Let's go. That's turn 1. Down into second gear, third gear if you're Kevin. On the power, you head up under this little sign. Then you're kind of feathering the throttle through here because you've got to, you don't need to brake to slow it down. You just, maybe a little touch of brake, but just really using the gears and throttle control to get it out of that corner. Then again down to third gear, get it turned in. Be patient, get on the power, and then you can swing it round to this left-hand side. Swing it round to the right. Again, just letting off the power briefly, dropping down a gear before you power it through into this second gear turn. Nice and early on the apex, and then off you go, blasting up the hill, under the bridge. And this is the fastest part of the track by the time you get to the end here. And it's uphill all the way. And if someone's close enough, they'll be getting a little bit of slipstream here. And he is giving us the slipstream to Demos. He's giving it up to G-Mac, and he'll give that all the way behind. Early braking at the end of those chevrons where you get the brakes on, get it turned in, clip the apex. And again, on the power, early as you like. You can take it nice and wide, and then you head down the hill for another long straight. And that completes a lap around here. Very, very quick, 1 minute 30 like that. And it's pretty much, a lot of this track is kind of uphill all the way through. So it's a much, it's a much different track where it's going in the first place. And there we go, that's the full lap around with Kevin. And he's got Demos right in behind him. And it's those long straights with the slipstream that really help you. Demos with a penalty, and that's going to allow G-Mac just to cruise on through and take that second place for Team Scooby. So at the moment it is Lancer from Lancer, Scooby, Lancer, Scooby, that's Lancer. Then it's Lancer, then it's Scooby, then it's Scooby, it's Scooby, it's Scooby. Those supers in the back really should be working together to try and get themselves further forward. You know, they are teammates. It is about a team. You know, at the end of the day, we're assessing the quality of the cars, and the big winner isn't going to be who wins the individual race. It's going to be the car. It's going to be the team, and the teammates need to be cracking on with working together to prove that their car's better than the other one. So G-Mac does make it up into second. He makes that around Demos. Demos serves that penalty. Lap through. We are 4 minutes into this race. Down. I think it's 20 minutes into the race. If you find yourself at a loose end over the weekend, in fact, if you find yourself at a loose end, stay up late. And we've got Eurotrips F1 tomorrow from 9 o'clock. That'll be a bit of fun. Lots of people crashing and dying. I think we're at Spain, Barcelona, for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is in Barcelona. That starts from 9 p.m. Then at midnight, exactly midnight, we are live with GT Champions Porsche Cup Season 2, sponsored by High Proof. And High Proof, check us out tomorrow. Really exciting news for High Proof as well. That will be Division 3 streamed live from 12 o'clock, and our very own Old Man Jay is competing there at Watkins Glen in the Porsche 911 RSR. Then we've got some going to do a couple of throwaway races, messing around between ourselves, before we return more GT Champions at Porsche Cup, this time Division 2 at 12:30. You see G-Mac actually putting the finals on Kevin a little bit. In terms of tyres, Kevin on the medium tyres, G-Mac on the softs, of course. Of course, Kevin's on the mediums, going on the softs. What would you expect? Division 3, Division 2 of the Porsche Cup. And in that we have got the Great Alice GT racing for Black Flag in that. Part of the Lithuanian contingent. And you can catch him again on Sunday evening from 7 PM when we return for Season 3 of the Lithuanian National GR3 Championships. Ronald, if you're listening, buddy, need the tracks, man. Need the tracks. So I can get all your artwork done in time. But looking forward to that. No, Season 2 was awesome. Season 3 is going to be just as awesome. Yes, then we're back with on Monday. Back with Smoking Pirellis, and on Tuesday, late night racing is finished for the season. New season will come up very soon. Watch this space for that. Wednesday, we're back with the GR3 Open. Then Thursday, we're back with this all over again. How's it? Oh, no, we're not. What am I talking about? We're not doing this next Thursday because next Thursday is the Racing with Cancer with ART. It's going to be a really, really fun, awesome event. It'll be myself and Super Squid, and probably we'll hear from Lancashire and a few of the others along the way, while we guide you through a couple of hours of some absolute carnage, where you can pay things like, you can donate like a £5 and get to smash another car off the track, completely penalty free. And I'll tell you what, I'll be looking forward to that. And I've already promised Fingers that if he donates £50 to the charity on Thursday, I will let him log into my GT7 account and tank my DR and SR down to the lowest possible level, to give me the nightmare of just trying to get my S ranking back up would be something special. Because once you get down there, you are amongst the lowest of the lowest of the low, and you're going to find yourself in big doodle trying to get an improvement to that ranking. I'm not so bothered about because I'm not using DLC, right? To be fair, I'm between D and C. So to take it down to the bottom of D would be an absolute nightmare, but the SR is the big one. And of course, I will record it live. Anyway, moving on, where are we? So, pit windows open for FeR, it's open for Avalon. Now, Avalon in on the medium compound tyres already. Now, he obviously thinks he can take the softs all the way to the end without a problem. So, good on him. FeR in probably earlier than he needs to be on those softs. If I were him, I would have stayed out a little bit longer. But maybe this works out and it gives him a bit of a jump when those in front go in. So Kevin stays out, of course, he's on the medium compound tyre. G-Mac is on the softs. He's just done his fastest lap of the race at 26.3. He's going to need to pit soon though. Demos 26.4 is his fastest lap. And just tucked in, just below a second G-Mac. Just outside that slipstream range now of Kevin. Panos still involved in there, he's in 5th place, just behind his Greek compatriots, Demos and Stormfly from the Netherlands. He is in under a second behind Panos in WRX Steam. There is Wiggy in the Mitsubishi Lancer. And he pulls into the pits on the medium tyres. He's going to take that as long as he can. So G-Mac in, Demos in, Stormfly in, Wiggy in, and where will they all come out? So Panos, Midas, they stay out there on the medium tyres. Sturpan stays out, he's also on those medium compound tyres. FeR has pits, Avalon's pits, and Thanos has pits. Thanos is 14 seconds back, so he's got a lot of work to do to close up that gap in 14 seconds. This is quite some way. Although Avalon is 30, he was 35 seconds. So he is 7 seconds behind Wiggy, who's just come out of the pits. Wiggy is within a second of FeR. FeR running in 8th place. Remember, reverse grid from racing number 2 We flip it, reverse it, and ziggy, 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 or whatever it's so BFeR is tucked under that wing of Stormfly in the Lance at the moment. We're hoping for Team Scooby to pick up some points and make this a bit of a race, because at the moment it's Team Lance all the way. They're absolutely dominating at the moment. And I'm not sure I need to count how many cars in each, because while we've been driving, technically it's a Lance drop. I might have a chat with him and see if he wants to just become a Lance driver, because there is a member of the Lance team who signed up and he hasn't yet raced. So I think 3 races and 4 races in, I think we can safely assume that he's not coming back. And we do have a couple of other reserves that race on a semi-regular basis. But there we go. Right, so the last of the brave souls, other than including Kevin, or the last of the brave souls into the pit. So everybody is now pit. Where is G-Mac? G-Mac's really lost out. He's got a penalty and he's already down in 5th place behind Stormfly. So not getting the same pace here. And he's under some significant pressure from Wiggy. And that pressure is going to turn into an overtake when he serves that half a second penalty. He's going to lose this place. He may even lose the place to BFeR line. Because when you see the penalty line, it's going to lose. This is where we come up to it, so we go into second gear, getting turned in, start heading up the hill. G-Mac is now thinking about serving the penalty. Wiggy is thinking, hello 5th, it's for me, boy. No, he doesn't actually. There's the penalty served, through goes Wiggy, bye-bye G-Mac. BFeR not close enough though, 1.2 seconds back. He was closer, but so G-Mac does not capitalise, but he is, sorry, BFeR not capitalised, he is closer. So that will help. Oh, that's nice. Thanos still at the back of the pack. Close it to 13 seconds. Sturpan, 4 seconds back from Avalon. 2.3 is the gap to Midas, and it may or may not be true that Midas drives past people, and if he touches them when he drives past, they turn into solid gold. That may or may not be true. 3.5 seconds is the gap to BFeR, who is desperately trying to find a way around G-Mac. G-Mac struggled after the pit stop. He was up there with Kevin, giving him some good race vibes, but the vibes have gone now because Kevin's chilling up there with a Greek top 3. It's Kevin, Demos and Panos, with the Dutchman splitting the Brits, Wiggy and G-Mac and BFeR. Then we've got Midas from the Greek Islands, followed by Adolf Shadow, and then Sturpan and Thanos. It's a very, very interesting affair today, mostly dominated by Greek drivers, and it just makes me think of summer holidays and ancient things, ancient civilizations. Of course, the Greeks are very famous for many things, like democracy. You would argue the state of the country at the moment, that they can take the democracy and stick it up their bum, because I think we need a dictator who just goes out and starts suck it up, doesn't care what people think, because they're not a snowflake. Right, 6.5 seconds is how far he is ahead. We're on lap 11. There are about 5 minutes left to go in this 20-week race. You should be about 3 days ahead by then. He'll be on. They say Kevin's so fast that he is already on round 6 of this. Everyone else still, of course, on round 4. So Kevin will be rounding the last turn on lap 6 very shortly. There's Demos trying desperately to keep up with Kevin, but Alas, only 6.6 seconds, but he is maintaining a gap to his compatriots. 2 seconds between him and Panos. 2.1 seconds is the gap to Stormfly. He is the top. Is it Scooby? Oh no, Panos is also Scooby. So Scooby not in the top 2 again. We're going to need some Scoobies to finish higher if we're going to see a race on from them. And is that Wiggy making moves on? No, it's not. It's G-Mac making moves on Wiggy. In the WRX, he's got that inside line. He makes that move, but Wiggy hangs that lance around the outside. And it's not two trainer bike girls, it's Wiggy. Although some say that he would like to have to talk across the front kids. When I'm not talking to him. Yeah, as I say, he would really like to have two trainer bike girls for Christmas. And would appreciate it if you would leave them outside. G-Mac did try and make the move, didn't happen. Has to tuck in behind Wiggy obviously now on the soft compound tyre, which makes so much easier to grip, of course. And another penalty for G-Mac. Although Wiggy has won too, this is Fubar's opportunity, and the penalty is going to get served. Is it going to be this lap or next lap? It's going to be next lap, I think. So G-Mac's going to carry that for the lap. Now, if Fubar gets ahead of him before that start, that is going to be devastating for the G-Mac man. He's named G-Mac because he survived solely on a diet of but it's a very special man. Cheers. Shut up. And hence the tree is back. It should be back. That is 100% accurate fact. Look it up, it's on Woodland. So, here we go, we're going to watch Fubar taking 6th place from G-Mac very shortly. Although, if he doesn't get closer, G-Mac might have enough impetus just to stay ahead. Right, this is where he needs to run. Fubar getting that run. Here he goes, he's now closing enough to make it count as they come round. This is where he seems to lose a bit of time to G-Mac. And off we go. So G-Mac is 1 second clear. He disappears as the sun does too. Hill would go all the way. There you go, he'll serve that penalty. Here comes Fubar, but I don't think Fubar's close enough. Fubar is not close enough. So just through that kind of section there, it's almost like G-Mac has got a little bit of extra impetus through that section. It can just open up the gap a little bit and make it all about him. So that's Fubar losing that opportunity there for Team Lancer. But that's obviously good for Team Fubar does have a little cheeky again inside. Nothing doings. Thanos is still at 12 seconds back at the rear in the Lancer. He's on the soft compound tyres. This will probably be his across the line here. And boom, Shanker, one more lap to go. Sturpan. Sturpan, there he is, tucked in, trying to find a way around him. He around Avalon. So he is on the soft tyres. So is Avalon. Fuel-wise, though, I think Sturpan is in a better position to push. His tyres are in a better nick, and his fuel is certainly in better nick. But don't count Avalon out. He knows where to stick that car to keep that car behind. But it is about points, remember. Now, a bit of communication here. Now, if it could be that Sturpan couldn't report Midas. We don't know Midas is but he shouldn't have hold on. But Kevin wins the race quite convincingly. He finished. There's Demos. Panos will cross the line. That's a 1, 2, 3 for the Greek drivers. It's 2 for Lancer, 1 for Scooby so far. Stormfly comes over in 4th in the Scooby. Wiggy in 5th place in the Lancer. GMAC in the in 6th. Kid Catch will be back. Fumar in 7th. He couldn't catch GMAC. Then we've got minus 8th. Sturpan in 9th place. Thanos will finish in 10th. And Avalanche Shadow actually did run out of fuel in the end. Lost out to Thanos and Sturpan. And there he goes across the line. And no petrol in there for him. Sorry, Jay, I missed you joining us. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're well. Good to chat to you earlier. We just made the bare minimum to get this race underway and broadcast. It's like I set everything up. Because if I'd gone on the phone, this race wouldn't have been broadcast. Because I would have set it up. What's happening to do today? Because we've already done it before I went on. So there we go. That's race number 1 done and dusted. We're going to all go and have a little gangbang. We might go dogging. And then we're going to come back and we're going to turn the grid around the other way. We're going to flip it over like a pancake or first time. And then we're going to go again. Which at my age doesn't happen. So, here we go. Waiting for the clock to tick down. Don't quite know why it's taking quite so long to finish giving us there we go. Done. Let me save the... I think that's pretty much the correct. Right, so there we go. We'll be back shortly with more action from the reverse. Good evening, Bandit. Good evening. You just missed a massive upset. I've actually got, and I've got 2 pages of notes of potential ideas for competitions that I can find that's fair for everybody, but just slows Kevin the fuck down and makes him beatable. And not one of them is viable without making him drive a completely different class of car. Because if you put tuning involved, he can super tune it down. So it won't make a blind bit of difference if you kind of limit it by tuning, because he can still tune the fuck out of any car in front of him, which just makes him super quick still. You know, even the GR4, we said, look, you can bulk up your car and make it quicker for special stage action. Everybody kind of in the spirit of it bumped out the car they had. He would have put a fucking brand new engine in this, which technically wasn't breaking the rules, but did kind of negate the whole spirit of the event. But you know, it's what it is. How'd it go, Bandit? Did you get on all right, buddy? Good race? While waiting for a Bandit to reply, I'm going to go and get a drink back in a sec. Returned. I've got Pepsi today. So there we go, reverse grid. Avalon will lead the map from Thanos, Sturpan, Midas, Fubar, G-Mac, Wiggy, Stormfly, Panos, Demos, and Kevin. Starting from last, he will be first. WRX is a good car. It's not a bad car at all. Although it's losing to the Lancer at the moment here, the Lancer just seems to be the car edging it, and it's not because the Lancer's had more. Well, I don't think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Lancers and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 WRXs today. So you would think the WRXs might nick an extra point or 2. I'm going to have a quick look actually because of the wonderful things I does. So we've got teams. So team results currently sitting at 4474. Mitsubishi 3914 Scooby Dooby. Let's jump in. Here we go, rolling starts on the first grid. Let's get ready. So Avalon will lead us all out. Apologies. I don't understand how PD can allow someone to watch the threat question to happen every time you go to the lobby. Right, so Avalon Shadow leads the way. How long can he stay out in front? He's on the medium size. He pit a little earlier than I thought he should have done. Maybe that made the difference, and that is why he ended up trickling across the line with a 0 fuel, possibly. Yes, looking at the looks like super good, especially if I think we put down Avalon. car, and if he can keep some lances of bait from most of the Stirpad is another WH driver, of course. This is where teamwork comes to play. Can he come and help his teammate here and help him stay with Thanos? Now, the ideal would be is to bump draft each other up the long straights and then give each other a little tug and not that, you know which one I mean. That is very dirty driving, I've got to say, from Thanos there. Thanos absolutely spun him out. I mean, Avalon was a little bit close, but to me, I'm sorry, I call it as I see it, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologise later. But that and more shocking driving. What the hell is going on? Yeah, I've got to say, like, I'm going to call it as I see it. And yeah, Patrick was a little close, but he was ahead. And yeah, you know, you can't claim you can't see them because you can. You've got a radar, you've got mirrors. That's the sort of shit you see in dailies. And one of the reasons why I do into the dailies. That would make it into the dailies easily for me. I will look back at it again after the event, but for me, absolutely ignorant. We'll have a look and see what's happening with that. That's a shit. I can change that. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to take the lobby cover off. I was looking at something else completely different. So none of you saw it, but I did, and I apologise for that. But I can tell you that Thanos wiped. He got a good run on Avalon, took first place. Avalon took that place back from him, and then had his back end spun out, and he is now down in last place, and undeservedly so. Stirpad does, however, take the lead for Team WRX. Fubar up into second. Thanos is third, but I think a pretty hefty penalty coming his way for that. Fiddling around the levels. For some reason, the levels of the game seem to get louder over the last few days. And it really annoys me when the music stayed on. I don't know why. I don't understand how you can make a game that looks so beautiful and some of the cars are so stunning, and then you can't get simple things right because it's like turning the fucking BGM off when it's turned off in the menu, or just I don't know. It's been a long day. Let's not have a little moan, shall we? Right, so Stirpad in the lead from Fubar. Fubar has the pressure from Stormfly. Stormfly makes the move in that WRX. So WRX dominating race number 2 here. And GMAC just getting caught up a little bit there, coming through. This race number 2 is a little bit, it's a little bit like a pub fight in that there's a few little skirmishes going on across the racetrack here and there and getting a bit niggly. But to be fair, I'm a lot closer to the mic than I was before. I was kind of leaning back and looking at the somewhere on the, not on the internet, that would suggest that I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at something else, which is why I missed the lobby screen being covered before. Yeah, it's just been a little bit angsty, shall we say, in the second race. Hopefully it will sort itself out. Obviously any student issues we're looking at. Usually rule of thumb is this, and I will actually write this in the rules because it's not something I've thought of before. But any red flag is called for by, if there's a commentator, the commentator. If there's not, then it's the host of the drivers themselves. If there's a commentator, the commentator is responsible for calling a red flag if one is necessary. And the other thing is that usually a commentator would not be involved, but wouldn't be involved in submitting stewarding decisions. It's going to say the same. I'm not going to be involved in submitting a stewarding decision, but absolutely that coming together between Thanos and Avalon needs looking at. And I'd love to be wrong and be able to go, sorry Thanos for calling me a big move, but to me, to me it very much looked like he didn't want to back out of the accelerator, so just didn't, and then spun the car next to him out. And that's bound to happen if you're at that point on somebody else's car. Well, number one, they've got track position because they're ahead of you. But number two, you know if you accelerate out and they are turning slightly, you are going to spin them into a wall. But then I suppose Patrick knows what happened as well. He could have. But why should you? You shouldn't have to get out of the way just because you're in the lead and someone's having a go. So, where's Kevin? There he is. He's fifth. 6 seconds off the lead. He's on the medium tyres. He'll be about 45 minutes ahead by the end of lap 7. So Sturpan is leading the way from Stormfly. They're starting to open up a bit of a gap from Wiggy in the Lancer. He's got GMAC in the WRX behind. So two WRX in the top. Sorry, 3 WRX in the top 4 this time. So some big points for them if they can hang on in there. Problem is this man is now on the charge. He's just 1.4 behind GMAC. And we know what happens when he starts to get his head down. Thanos, he was obviously up in 3rd place after that, and then for a while was in 1st place, and then after that scuffle with Avalon has just dropped down a little bit. Obviously he's still down in 6th. Avalon's way down in last place, so he's the big loser here. And once that starts out, decision will be made. We've got 5 tenths back to Panos in the WRX, chucking that Scooby around. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 of our 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, no 4, 5. Did I not count? Kevin, Thanos, Demos, Panos, Midas. That is 5 drivers, 5 good drivers, all bunched up nicely together. Sturpan out in the lead on his own at the moment. There is Fubar in 10th place. He's 2 seconds off the back of Midas. And Avalon Shallow, after being absolutely wiped out on that one, starting to find the pace again. Low 27s. He's going to have a 1.46 on last lap, so clearly just pushing too hard. He's cost himself some time on that lap. He's now 30 seconds back, but to be fair, his race was ruined for him at the end of lap 1. And it's, fuck it, I'm going to talk about it. So here's the thing, right, is that, I do have a big, I think the majority of people think, I'd like to think the majority of people think rage quitting is a shitty move. And but you can kind of understand why people would do it. If you go into a 20-minute race, you've got a game plan. You want to be in and amongst it. You get absolutely wiped out of the race by nothing you've done wrong, and that's your entire race shot. Because let's face it, especially if it's the same car like it is here, and very similar standards, you're not gonna catch and take over everybody in front of you, unless you're significantly faster than them. And generally, certainly in online, it's not the case. So you then have to race the rest of the race round at the back of the pack, and you're fucking seething. You are genuinely pissed off with the person that did it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know that after the race, you can put in a steward's inquiry, and the stewards will look at it, and the stewards will do. But it doesn't matter what they do at that stage. Whatever happens at this stage now, see, this is the problem for me with penalties. It's partially, look, if what happened, if what I think happened, then yeah, it's partially a racing incident, but it's a racing incident that could have been avoided, and a racing incident that could have been avoided should result in a penalty. So if you do something that had you not done it, a bad thing wouldn't have happened, then there does have to be some sort of recourse there. The problem is, the recourse for such an incident isn't necessarily going to, well, in fact, it's not going to help No, not at all. I'm talking about that incident on lap 1, to be fair. Not about you. Now, if your incident is slightly different in the fact that you would have had... we'll go to that in a minute. So if you... If you're on the receiving end, like Avalon was, the receiving end of a big shunt like that, where you're in the lead of the race and get shunted into last place, whatever penalty is handed out, because if you look at the incident in isolation, not where everybody ended up, but in isolation, you look at that incident in isolation, that's how it will be looked at. It won't be looked at as to how much people lost. You have to look at what happened and what was the effect of that. You wouldn't give someone a worse penalty because it got worse for them, really. Not what you can really do about that. The penalty's a penalty. But anyway, so you hand out a penalty. And it does punish the person that committed the offence, but it doesn't give any satisfaction to the person who's lost out. Because, the person that hit you might get a penalty and they might finish further down than they did. But if you were first in the race and you end up last, whatever punishment they get is not, in your eyes, is not going to be enough. And then you see Avalon now, and this is the other thing that happens, is that when it all does go horribly wrong, and you're pissed off, you drive angry, and when you drive angry, stuff like that happens, and you crash, and you struggle to keep control of the car, and that kind of thing. Back to the incident that you brought up, which I wasn't going to talk about, but you brought up anyway, Ben, so I'll talk about that. If you had stayed in that race, and submitted the steward inquiry, the steward's inquiry would have had a finding in your favour. It's very clear that if you decide to quit the race, you forfeit any ability to do a steward's inquiry. Because you're not in the race, so you can't then say, well, this person should be punished for this, because you went on and then did something yourself. So that's the sort of decision on that. And the thing is that when Black Flag started, there was no intention to have any of these kind of hard and fast rules in place. It never was. It was all about, we trust people to get out and get on with it. But the fact of the matter is that people can't. For all the emotional intelligence and smarts that everybody in this group has, there's some incredibly intelligent people in this group. I do struggle sometimes to find anyone capable of any cognitive thought. And people have got different views on things as well. So what one person might view as aggression on the racetrack, someone else might view it as a racing incident. So it's a difficult one. So we have got. That's why we've had to put in some kind of rules in place. Do we have specific punishments for specific things? Well, no, because we need to set a precedent. We can't go, right, you will get a 5-point penalty if you do this, because sometimes it might not necessarily be a 5-point penalty. Example, the Thanos and Avalon incident right there. That'll get looked at, and it was partially a racing incident, but it was Kevin just making his way into the lead of this race on lap 10, as we thought. He will be about 20 minutes clear when we get to the end. Where was I? Yeah, so, yeah, if it was as I thought it was partially a racing incident, but it was a racing incident that could have been avoided had a different action been taken. So, is it penalty worthy? Absolutely. This is Wiggy moves up in 2 seconds. A great move from him actually to get past Sturpo, who's led this race from the beginning. A penalty will ensue, but because it was a racing incident that could have been avoided, you can't be slapping him with a 10-place, your qualifying ban or anything quite extreme like that. It's got to be proportionate to what happened and to the situation, not necessarily proportionate to the outcome. And I think that a lot of the time, that's a lot of the problem with punishments given out in F1, is that sometimes the punishments don't seem to redress the balance quite well. Give you an example. There was some corner cutting that went on, and I can't even remember which race it was, but it greatly benefited, and we were talking a couple of seasons ago, it greatly benefited the big massive cop bag, and he gained significant time, and he gave back that time, but he gave it back in such a way that he didn't really give it back at all. But to the letter of the law, he did give back some time, and therefore although somebody else lost out significantly, that the punishment served. And that's kind of what I mean, is that sometimes you do think the punishment needs to fit the crime, not necessarily the overall outcome. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, soapbox done. We are almost at the end of this race. So Kevin has made his way from last to first. He could literally make an entire catalogue of last to first videos. What's Kevin doing today? Today I'm live on YouTube doing another last to first video where I'll be covering the black flag. Even though I started in a different car driving first. 0.2 of a second ahead of Wiggy, who's got a half-second penalty. Should be just far enough ahead of Demos, not for that to be a problem. But again, 2 Lancers at the front, and Lancer just going to open up this gap now with over the WRX, despite there being more WRXs out there today. I'm going to have to down tools and come and get involved, and show these guys how to drive the WRX. Maybe not. There is the lead WRX, that's Sturpan. He's got Demos just behind him. I'll tell you what, Demos is putting some pace in behind and could be making it a Lancer 1, 2, 3, which would be devastating for the Scooby Boys. Scooby Boys sounds like a gang from 1960s Manchester. Gonna watch out for them Scooby Boys from up north, innit? Craze from London and the Scooby Boys from Manchester duking it out on the streets of Liverpool. G-Mac making a move there on Demos. Is he? No, he's not. Getting snaky behind him though. Getting closer. Can G-Mac? Oh, wobbly wobbly. Or was that lag or was that wibbly wobbly? Who knows? So Avalon at 54 seconds back, but let's face it, his race was over somewhere on that one. Fubar couldn't get the car any further forward. In 10th place, 2 tenths behind Midas. He's got the slipstream here, still an opportunity. There's still a lap or so left. Certainly 1 lap, maybe 2, if they're quick enough. And certainly lap times would suggest that they are. So Fubar around the outside, just like the 2 trailer park girls that are being delivered to Wiggy for Christmas. And he does make that move. And Midas absolutely loses the back end. And into the wall he goes. And boom, the quarterback is toast. Answer to what film is that from on a postcard. Thanos is 4.9 seconds up the road. Can Fubar induce another panic-stricken slide into a wall, or is Thanos going to keep his head? 1.7 behind Stormfly, who's in the second half of these races has not been as strong as in the first half. And despite being on the soft compound as well. 2.3 seconds up the road is Panos Bill in the WRX. He is on the back of G-Mac, and it's not the sort of climbing on the back that G-Mac ordinarily likes. Normally, he hasn't got a problem with that, but they are teammates, so because it's a team-based competition, G-Mac won't hold him too much, because at the end of the day, if he can close down on Sturban, I mean, he's got a lot of work to do that, but for the Sturban is a teammate as well, so it doesn't really matter, because they are teammates after all. And the last thing you want is someone catching you because you held up your teammate, and someone from another team catches you. Demos is in the top 3. That's a 3.5 second penalty. Who do you have to, how do you get a 3.5 second penalty at this stage of the race? That is some corner cutting, that. And bearing in mind that most of this track is wall, that's an insane penalty to serve. Did he hit somebody? Oh, it could be a wall collision penalty. Well, no, because wall collision penalties aren't on, so don't understand. So that's going to promote a WRX into the top 3. The WRX of Sturpan, of course. Wiggy's not going to be under any pressure. There goes Sturpan. He'll go through into the top 10. And all 14 drivers, bar... there's only one of the lead out there, not Avalon's on lap 13. So Kevin leads this race by 2 days, 7 hours and 14 minutes. There he goes across the line. Wiggy with a good solid second place. you kind of like when you race with Kevin now, you kind of take that as a win. Sturpan is third. Demos in 4th place. Panos in 5th. GMAC in 6th. 7th will be Thanos. Fubar comes home in 8th. Don't know what happened to Stormfly. He ran out of petrol. And he's in 9th place. Minus in 10th position. And of course, Avalon Shadow comes home in 11th. There we go. All done and dusted. So, Kevin from Wiggy from Sturpan, from Demos, from Panos, from GMAC, from Thanos, Fubar, Stormfly, Midas, and then Avalon are the is your order of 11 drivers. Race 1, incident free, very good race. Race 2, early doors, was a little bit like a bar fight. And certainly one thing to be looked at. Obviously it's got to be submitted, I'm sure Avalon will submit that as a student report. I will look at it either way because obviously I made some comments about my view on the driving, which I want to back up in case I have to apologise. I am kind of talk first or react first. But to be fair, I've done it before. I've got form. Harmonious, who are now considered to be a buddy. I think the first time I commentated a race with him, I called him an absolute something because he got hit from behind and whacked into somebody. But actually, I didn't see the person behind hitting. I just saw him slicing across the racetrack into the side of someone, and it looked like he'd taken him out just because he'd got overtaken back to the pit gate, and I had to retract and apologise. So there we go. That's race number 2 done and dusted. Let's get the standings done, and I can see where we're at. So update scores. It was Avalon at the back. We will have to can't look and see because I've got to add penalties to this at some stage. That's Kevin from Demos, wasn't it? From Sturpan. Oh, I can't remember. I'm supposed to remember this stuff, but I can't. Good victory though for Kevin, as usual. Wouldn't have it any other way. So, there we go. Another race done and dusted, finished. That will be looked at by the stewards. You too, buddy. I'll catch you later, Bandit. Thanks for joining me. All that's left to say really is thank you very much for joining me. Tomorrow, 8:45 for Eurotrip Formula 1. We are at Barcelona for round number 4, followed by the GT Champions Porsche Cup round 3 on Friday and Saturday. If you don't come and see me beforehand, have a great weekend. If you do, because you like me, have nothing better to do, I cannot wait to see you. Thanks for joining me. I'm Adam Pike. This has been Black Flag Racing TV, and I'm out. Peace, y'all.